Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to Coach's Corner East. We are live at the Pizza Hut on this Wednesday evening. So glad that you joined us. And we'll be talking high school football Week 7 review, Week 8 preview. And our show is brought to you in part by Terry Gribble and Associates at your Galion Community Center, YMCA, Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street in Bucyrus, Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut here in Galion and Bucyrus, our host of this show since 1992, as well as Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing and Signs, sponsor of our foam board t-shirts. Tonight, coming up a little later, it'll be the Crestline Bulldogs, Johnny King, talking about another tough game. They lost to Waynesfield Goshen, but the Bulldogs get ready for a game this week, and they'll be going to the small village of Dola over by Ada to take on Hardin Northern. Colonel Crawford keeps the train rolling as they pick up another win against Mohawk, and they're going to be heading up north of 602 to New Washington for the Battle of Route 602 against Buckeye Central. And we'll be talking to Coach Matt Dick of the Galion Tigers, coming off a loss and looking to rebound against their rival to the east, the Ontario Warriors, and we'll talk to them in just a moment. We're brought to you in part by Don Barn, Associates at the Galion Building and Loan Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richland Mall, Mark Osborne and Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galion Industrial Park. And welcome back, as we do each and every week, Coach Matt Dick and the Galion Tigers. Thanks for coming, and came dressed for the party tonight. That's a great look on you. I'm so used to the t-shirt and shorts, and you look great tonight. And it's a choir concert, right?
Yeah, big choir concert at the high school tonight. Come on out at 7 o'clock, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, you got to support the arts too. That's very, very important, and it's an integral part, just as athletics are. And it's great that you're supporting the school district in that way. Tough loss last week to a really talented team, Shelby Whippets, who may be down just a little bit in talent, but they're still a potent offense. They defeat you 37-7. You're now 3-4 overall, 1-3 in the MOAC, and unfortunately, it's your third straight loss in a row. But sometimes you kind of expect that, especially when you're playing young people, and you do have that both on the offense and the defensive side, kind of encapsulate the whole way that whole game went on Friday night.
Yeah, I think that there were 2 drives. There was a drive right before the end of the first half, and a drive, I think it was the second drive of the second half. If we can finish those 2 drives, we're going to go into the fourth quarter with the lead or down 1 maybe. It's going to be a close game all the way through. We just couldn't finish those drives. I think some of that's just young guys, had some holding penalties, some bad snaps, some missed alignments, and some bad calls by coaches. I mean, it's the whole team. But we are so close, and I was so proud of the way our kids battled on Friday night. We talked about, be the light, be the positive, see the good that's going on. And when you play offense like Shelby, there's going to be highs and lows. We knew that coming in. They got lots of talented kids, but our kids had to stay focused on being positive. We were proud of the group of guys. Hey, we got close. Hey.
So as a coaching staff, and I'm sure you're going to take ownership for all the decisions because it all rests on you. You make a decision for an onside kick that backfired on you as they took it back 50 yards for TD. Just something where you had won the toss and deferred, I suspect, and kind of wanted to see if they were awake yet and get the ball and start doing things offensively?
Yeah, I really thought it was 11-on-1. I like our odds of that. That kid made a heck of a play. Great job to him. And we're going to continue to try to find ways where we have advantages and take advantage. When we have the numbers, we're going to take shots. We do that on offense. We do it on defense, and we're going to live and die by that.
Marshall Shepard, their quarterback of the Shelby Whippets, to Andre Hill, one of their top 2 receivers, for 38 yards at the 8:53 mark of the second quarter, and Shelby had a 13-0 lead at half. And I appreciate your comments, as I do each and every week, that you make to the media. They have a ton of weapons, but I can't tell you how proud I am of my defense. We held them to 7 in the first half. You say, well, no, you didn't. It was 13. That was special teams. You're talking about your defense specifically. What was it that they did that just kind of stifled that potent Shelby offense?
I'd take their 2 best receivers away or limit their impact in the game, force their quarterback to run. They didn't want to run him as much as we emptied the box. So we put them in some binds where there's more guys in coverage than normal. And our kids played well. They made plays one-on-one. And it's hard to hold them down the whole game, but like I said, I really think there's 1 or 2 drives. We finish them on offense. It gets real exciting.
Is there more pride from a head coaching standpoint where your kids will adjust to something that maybe they haven't done scheme-wise, either offensively or defensively, for a particular package that the other team's running, and just say, hey, we buy in and we'll do whatever it takes? Does that bring more pride, or is it more pride in just saying, hey, we do our base stuff really well?
You know, I think that repeatable plays is something that we've struggled with. I think, to be honest with you, offensively and defensively, little wrinkles we do have worked out really, really well, and our kids have done a nice job of that every week. But, you know, fundamentals, when they're going to run the ball right here, and you have to take on that ISO block or take on that kickoff block or get a great stance every play, those things are hard to do consistent. And on offense, it's, you know, move your feet on blocks up front, good snaps. Quarterback, take what the defense gives you. There's a read on every play, throw the ball on time. And all those things are, to me, they're way harder to do consistently and repeatably. So it's easy for me to call an offense. That stuff's way harder than just one play or one wrinkle you do. That stuff's easy. Hey, they line up in bunch, we're going to do this defense. Those things are easy to pick up. But to do it repeatable, that's kind of where greatness lies. And we've been doing some stuff different this week in practice. I'm excited to see what it looks like on Friday night. And I think with this group of guys, it's always fun as a head coach, and offense coordinator, defense coordinator, all our guys. It's fun to see what we can do each Friday. And our kids have done a great job, and we just need to finish.
Shelby gets a safety on you in the second half, and then a 58-yard run by Winters, and Shelby's up 22-0. Gabe Ivey for the Tigers scored at the 44-second mark of the third quarter on a 3-yard run. Another comment you made, I thought Gabe Ivey took a step tonight. He's a real special sophomore. What do you like about him the most?
You know, I think that kids can see he's really talented, really quick, really fast. He has struggled at times to catch the ball, and just struggled at times with play knowledge. As a sophomore, we moved him around a little bit, and he just struggles. That's all there is to it. And I think defensively, same thing. There's just little details that he struggles to be consistent with. But we really, you know, I called him out in front of the whole team. I talked to his parents. I talked in front of the whole team about, hey, this kid's got talent. He can give us more. And then he went out and did it. And I think that's what I'm proud of. Sometimes it takes the head coach pouring a little bit more attention into a kid. But when they respond, that shows me we have that relationship where we can lean on each other. And he trusts that I see something maybe he doesn't see in himself. And he really brought that out. And I think it's going to help our offense grow. And hopefully he'll continue to grow as a sophomore.
I think that's a fantastic answer. It's always the response in young people, and quite honestly, adults, on how people respond. And when you see that in a positive manner, that brings a lot of satisfaction for sure. Marshall Shepard got hot, had two touchdown passes in the fourth quarter to round out the scoring. You had 185 yards total offense, Shelby 427. Hanif Donaldson, 18 carries, 114 yards. He's currently the leading rusher in the MOAC, just under 1,000 yards, 955 exact. Gabe Ivey, 16 rushes, 100 yards, and a TV. And you made another comment, we have to finish. It starts with getting a little tougher and starts with being more consistent, and that's what you talk about, those repeatable plays over and over again. Marshall Shepard, 17 to 28 for 260, 3 touchdowns and an interception for Shelby. And then the dynamic duo, Blaine Bowman, 7 receptions, 119 yards, 1 TD. Andre Hill, 5 receptions, 95 yards, 1 TD. And that kind of set the tone and finished it off. But when you look back at the film, and as you've gone through practice, I know you got to kind of encapsulate that, put that Shelby game behind you. But even though, you know, it was a kind of a lopsided loss, overall, what were you happy about?
Yeah, you know, you say put it behind you. I didn't. I was excited about it. I watched the film. I'm still excited.
I guess I meant from that standpoint that you have to focus on Ontario.
And I guess the message I've given to our team is we're going to get a chance, if we do the right thing, to play really good teams in the future. And we can beat a really good team, but we have to keep taking those steps. And I think sometimes when you have a lot of young guys mixed in, you got some seniors, people want to shut down, pack up, turn it off. But if you'll just be willing to keep fighting and keep growing, maybe you can be better than anybody ever could imagine. And I think I saw that on Friday night. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm blind and I'm just seeing something that's really not there. But I think I saw that flicker of hope. And I hope this Friday we take that step, and then we got to get to play 2 more games, and maybe we'll see a 3rd game. But we're going to get into the 4th quarter with really good teams. And can we finish it? And that's, you know, ultimately our goal is to get our team to overachieve. And when we can do that in the 4th quarter and find a way to win, it'll be worth it. And it's something worth fighting for. And our kids are fighting for it, and our coaching staff is as well.
Very good. Before we talk to the young men, we'll take a break here and remind everybody we're brought to you in part by Steve and Chuck Keller at Keller Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, Uptown Galion and Crestline. Marie Mounts at the Platinum Insurance Agency, your Progressive agent, 131 Harding Way East, Uptown Galion. Joe Kleiman Associates at the Galion office of First Federal Bank. of Ohio. Around the table we go. First up, sophomore Linkon Tyrrell. And Lincoln, so glad that you joined us tonight. Appreciate you coming, and positions on the team this year.
Last time I was here, I was playing linebacker, but I've moved back to safety this week.
Okay, I remember that now. Yep. It's sometimes as the weeks run, it's hard to remember. How did you embrace that move from linebacker position that you probably enjoyed to now more of a safety position?
I mean, sorry. I don't know. It's just like, it's going back to what I probably know that one better because that's where I started off. So I'm a little more comfortable there, but like at the same time, I do miss linebacker a little bit, getting more action.
Coach praised your defense about shutting down their two big guns, Bowman and Andre Hill, and you were a part of that in the defensive backfield. What was your mindset going into the game with two really prolific receivers and a really talented quarterback, and for the most part, shut them down pretty well?
I mean, I got beat a couple times. Obviously, it's going to happen, but I think it was just I was a little nervous, but I knew my job, and I had to try and do the best I could.
Now, in those situations, do you kind of play a little more conservative, or are you willing to take chances and I think I can get there and maybe get an interception, or I'm going to play soft and let him catch, and then I'll go wrap and make the tackle? What's your approach?
I mean, a lot of times I end up most of the game, my job was to jam at the line, and I started off not doing too well, like being a little soft and letting him get out on me, and then went more into it and got more comfortable as it went on.
All right, very good. Well, good luck this week against Ontario. Big game, another chance to get better. So appreciate you coming by. Next up, we have Damien Kimball. How are you, Damien?
I'm good.
Good. Glad you could be here tonight. As a senior, it's starting to come ever more present that the season's starting to whittle away. We're going into week 8. Have you and your senior teammates even thought about that, or you personally start to think about that, oh my gosh, it's starting to come to a close?
I think right now our team, like as a whole, but especially the senior class, is just taking it game by game, and hoping that we can finally start getting some wins towards the end of the season and hopefully make a run in the playoffs. But we're just taking it game by game right now.
Do you have the mentality as that senior, and you know that games are limited regardless if you make the playoffs or not, that, hey, I'm going to empty the tank this Friday night because I only have so many paydays left? Do you talk about that, or do you internalize that? Do you think about that?
Yeah, we definitely think about that as like a unit.
So Ontario, and I can remember early on in the season, a lot of you seniors were here and said, by far, River Valley's our biggest rivalry. But geographically, Ontario's got to be one of the biggest ones. How do you feel about the Warriors?
Personally, I think Ontario is our biggest rival, not River Valley. We've had some good games with River Valley, but we just want redemption from Ontario from last year because they beat us pretty bad last year, and we just want to get them back this year.
Yeah, well, get after it and get her done. It's on the road again, but not a long trip or anything like that. You go over there, take care of business, come home and celebrate.
Yep.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Maddox Hickman is a sophomore, and he's up next. Hi, Maddox. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Positions on the team?
I play tight end.
Tight end. Getting many balls thrown to you, or are you being asked to block pretty much?
Basically block.
Block, okay. All right, not a lot of balls yet. Is that something that you would welcome? I mean, you're willing to go out into the routes, and because that's a tough thing. You know, we talk about receivers, and they can run certain routes, but a lot of times tight ends are going to be running crossing routes, and a linebacker's looking for them that you may not see. You willing to do that?
I like blocking, but balls are kind of fun to catch, but I'm not really good at it. So.
Maybe not quite the hands that you're, not the Gronkowski hands, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ontario coming up this week, they're having a tough season as well, but they're going to play you tough. They got you last year. What's been the focal point in practice this week so far?
Just blocking basically for me.
For you personally, okay. Very good. Well, good luck, enjoy, and thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. Next up, Jack Hart is a junior, and Jack, thanks for coming. Positions on the team?
Kicker and receiver.
Okay, kicker, and let's talk about that a little bit. That's an important role. Every coach I've ever talked to said you got to win all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams, and you're an integral part of the special teams. How do you feel your season's been going? Because I trust it's field goals, PATs, correct?
Yeah, it's been going pretty good so far. I mean, yeah, last week I was quarantined, but you know, starting to get back in the swing of things.
Feel pretty good?
Yep.
Okay. So, long time ago when I was in high school, when they still used chalk on the blackboards, and I won't tell you when that is, we were going up against our rival, and the coaches made a mistake in pregame as to his distance, the field goal kicker's distance. It was 0-0 late in the game against our biggest rival, and they put him out there, misjudged how far he really had, and it ended up being 47. It hit the crossbar, and the ding that it made, you couldn't hear a sound except the ball hitting the crossbar and falling over. What is your distance? And if pushed, if your coach said, what do you got in it tonight? Tell me, Jack, what do you got? What can it be?
Usually I can hit 40s like pretty consistently, but if I'm like forcing it, the longest I've ever hit was probably just a 50. That was like a
one-time deal.
Yeah, like I tried it once, it happened going, and I've tried again, and it hasn't gone so well.
Well, hey, listen, in the fall, we're likely to get strong winds, and those can happen. Maybe you get a little help that way.
All right.
Hey, welcome back, and continued success the rest of the year.
I appreciate it.
You bet. Finally, we have Corey Holmes here, and he's a sophomore. Corey, positions on the team?
I am a D-end.
D-end, okay. And are you playing mostly JV, or are you playing some varsity as well?
I play JV.
Okay. How's that season going for your JV team?
It's hit or miss. I mean, some games we just go out there, we don't have it in us, no fire whatsoever. We just go out there, we're soft, all of that good stuff. And there's other games where we go out and we play hard.
Is it hard after standing on the sidelines Friday night, possibly not getting in, turning around and getting up the next morning, sometimes really early because you have a road game, and getting the adrenaline going and going out there?
It can be difficult, but me personally, I haven't really found a problem trying to get hyped before Saturday's game.
Good. That's good. Ontario, your big rival, what's the key to success as far as you're concerned to beat the Warriors?
I feel the only thing that we need to do to beat the Warriors, of course, is play a hard game of football.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you. Thanks for coming. I'd certainly appreciate it. Take a break here and come back and talk to Coach Matt Dick about the Ontario Warriors here coming up in just a moment. I want to remind everyone that we are brought to you in part by the Burkhart family at the Burkhart Farm Center, your Case IH dealer straight west of Galion on the Manette New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus Mount Galion and Marion, Sweet Baby Ray Jones, Davey's little brother at Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Galion. Coach, this time of year, as a media person, I like to talk about things that the coaches don't always like to talk about so much, and that's the playoffs. I know you're probably saying that, wow, we're just focused on Ontario, but you and your staff, I'm sure, are starting to think about what that might look like. Going into this week, you're 15th, and the top 16 teams in each region will go. You're 15th, Division 4, Region 14, 1.76 average points ahead of 16th place Oberlin. Have you started to think about it, or are you just really kind of focused on the task at hand?
Yeah, I think it's one game at a time, but we did take a second to talk about, we have 3 games left. What type of team do you want to be? And I think, there's been a lot of games that we've been in the game in the fourth quarter and just haven't found a way to get it done. And I don't think any of our seniors or any of our young guys that are playing want to leave this season undone like it is right now. So we've got to focus on this week, a good Ontario team, find a way to beat them, then we go to the next week. And if we can do that, there's 3 more steps we can go to get to be the best team we possibly can be this year. And I'd love to see that week 11. But we got to take those steps the right way and not limp into the playoffs in a 16 seed or something like that. That's not fun to go to the number 1 seed and get killed, because that's usually what happens, But if you can get up a couple, then we get to that right matchup and we get to play a good team. And we're going to match up well with them, and then we can have fun in the fourth quarter to find a way to win.
As we've talked about, you're going to Ontario. They're 2-5 overall, 0-3 in the MOAC. Chris Miller has been there a couple years now, and he's in a rebuilding program. Let's face it, he's got some young kids and trying to turn things around over there. They lost to a really talented Clear Fork team, perhaps one of the best teams in the MOAC. They lost to them last week, 45-7. They're averaging just about 15 points per game, giving up almost 33 a game. So defensively, offensively, they're not keeping people out of the end zone. Chase Studer is the second leading rusher in the MOAC, 103 rushes and 686 yards and 5 TDs in the MOAC. And is he the key to their offense?
Yeah, absolutely. Take away the run game. They really like to pound the ball. They're probably like 70-30, something like that. So we definitely got to slow down the run, which is a change from the last couple of weeks where we really played some spread teams. We're going to have to adjust to that, but I like what we're doing. And Ontario's, we've had some great games with them. They're going to come ready to battle, and I talked to our kids about that and how important it is to have a fast start and get ready for 4 quarters.
And it's a great game for the communities because really they're neighboring communities. You got, what, maybe 15, 20-minute drive at the most. There's a lot of similarities between that. So as long as the weather holds out, it should be a great Friday night. And to finish up here, what's the keys to your success?
Start fast and finish in the fourth. That's what we talked about. Our stats are horrible in the fourth quarter, especially offensively, scoring points. So we really talked about, stealing momentum at the beginning of the game. That really changes the game. Let teams hang around. They play their best game. And so you got to put them away early. But if we get to the fourth, we need to score in the fourth and find a way to win in the fourth. That's been a problem all year. We're going to keep focusing on that the rest of the year.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll look forward to talking to you about that next week and preview week 9. With the Galion Tigers, and best of luck to you, and enjoy the choir concert tonight.
Thank you.
You bet. We'll take a break here. It's the Colonel Crawford segment coming up right after this timeout.